Thanks to today's patron producer, Catherine Harder, for making today's video possible. And thanks to all my patrons. You guys rule. Thanks for supporting the channel, for making this all possible. It's very much appreciated. Roll film. It's a career somewhere in the States.
It's Young OG, get familiar.
Good morning. It's Monday. Wow. It's already Monday. What weekend happened passed quickly. We had really great weather. Sunny all the way up till today. Now it's really cloudy. It's supposed to be raining. Hasn't started raining yet. I'm going to go visit my buddy Dan for some coffee. I haven't seen him in a while, and I think Sam's going to join us. So get caught up with him a little bit, with them. Two English guys and an American. Sounds like the beginning of a joke. No bars. We're not allowed to walk into bars, so no jokes allowed. Anywho, I also am still bikeless. The situation, I figure I'll give you a little bit of an update today on the van move situation, the visa situation, and a couple other little things as we go. And there are two Space Invaders that were recently reactivated that I think I'm going to try and find today. So yeah, let's just go for a little bit of a wander, and hopefully we don't freeze or get rained to death. I dropped my phone on my foot this morning. Like, I dropped it on the couch and it bounced off the couch and landed straight on the top of my foot. It hurt, but it didn't bother me anymore until just now. Like when I'm walking here, there's no bruising or swelling or anything. Maybe it's the shoe, I don't know. I can't afford to break my foot right now. I have too much going on and I gotta walk. Walking's important. Oh, man. Especially when I don't even have a bike. Well, two things. One, my foot seems to be doing better, at least after sitting for a minute. We'll see how long that lasts as I walk. Is Monday usually a holiday after Easter in Paris, in France? I feel like I should know the answer to that. It just feels extra quiet today. Maybe it's because it's after the holiday. Maybe it's because the weather is back to being kind of cold and miserable. Hopefully, Back in Black is open so that this isn't one of those moments where like, coffee. I see a Sam. I think Dan's gonna be a little late.
Bonjour. How you doing?
Good.
I was gonna say, if you weren't vlogging.
Hola, senora. How you doing?
Sam,
How's things? Shut et voilà. Ciao, au revoir. Coffee.
You didn't say it was gonna rain.
I'm not in charge of the weather.
Well, you bloody well should be.
Just, it's like, what is going on there? Always good to hang out with those guys, especially when they're popping wheelies while standing still. It's the best. The bike situation, I figured that was a good transition to the bike situation. And I wish I had a bike right now. Basically, I left it downtown here because it was so broken I didn't really trust it to go all the way home on it. I was worried I was going to break it the rest of the way. But what's wrong with it, if you didn't catch the last video, is that the shifter is broken. Something inside of it's not catching. So when I'm pedaling, basically, like, first gear is completely gone. Second gear was going after it, just slipping, making it worse. So I'm waiting for them to give me a rendezvous, because the way that it works right now, they're doing everything by appointment because, you know, they're just very behind. And so now I'm waiting for them to get back to me. But I don't want to leave my bike at the Peloton for too long. I'd like to, you know, get it in. So I'll have to follow up on that here soon. But debate is what I told them when I reached out. And funny enough, Van Moof did send me a message via Instagram when they saw my story, asked if they could help. I wrote them a response telling them how they could help. And they never responded, so that's not great. So in those messages, I did tell them, like, hey, look, I'll give you one more try, and then, you know, if it breaks again, I'm gonna have to ask for my money back. But to be totally honest, kind of thinking it might be smart just to go ahead and get my money back now. Been pretty patient, considering this is my fourth bike and now my second broken shifter on my fourth bike. And the recap of that, of course, is that the electronics were what broke in the first two bikes. The third bike had some sort of cosmetic defect. I got the fourth bike. It worked until the shifter broke. They repaired the shifter, and then immediately the day after, the shifter broke again. So it's not a problem that they can really fix if it's a production problem. If they keep replacing broken parts of parts that are gonna break, that's where it starts to feel like, okay, this is kind of a waste of everybody's time. So yeah, we'll see. I'll see what their response is, and I'll make that decision in that moment. But that's basically the bike situation. On the invader hunt situation, there are two new invaders that have been put in. Well, they're not new, they've just been redone. They've been reactivated. Both of them in the north of Paris. One, I believe, at Colonel Fabian, and the other in Montmartre. So let's go get those. Oh, not good. Don't drop your Metro card. It's harder to get into the Metro. Gotta keep your eye out. Just because you have an idea where one might be doesn't mean there aren't more on the way. I've personally been feeling a little bit, the irony is that I have a lot going on, a lot that I'm working on, but I also feel kind of stagnant in the greater sense of life, which I think is kind of the common feeling many of us have with the pandemic. Something that I've expressed before. You know, it's not a new feeling. And it's one that comes and goes depending on, you know, how I'm doing overall. But I guess in a lot of ways, I feel, especially with the light at the end of the tunnel with this situation, especially back in the States, like having my whole family vaccinated and feeling a huge sense of relief that they're all safe, or at least safer. I also feel kind of like that, you know, as things crawl here in France, this feels like the world's gonna get back to moving without us. And it definitely leaves me feeling, you know, a little bit left behind, which is probably not even like real or fair, but it's just kind of how I feel. So I have to remind myself, like, hey, we've all hit bumps in the road. Some people are definitely taking off. Some people are doing great in the midst of this, you know, and others aren't. And I just got to deal with the cards I've been dealt and do the best I can from here. And that's really all I can do. I'm trying to remind myself, like, not to worry about how anybody else is doing. If there are people that I know that seem to be like doing so much better, whatever, you know what? I'll get caught up and I'll be doing just fine as I can. And there's nothing else I can do. And it actually is really helpful. It's kind of freeing to remember, like, oh yeah, with a little bit of perspective, like, just keep plugging away, keep moving forward as best I can, and it'll come back together at some point. Anyway, should be about where I want to be. I think it's going to be on the other side of this roundabout. I really hope it's actually here. You'll remember this roundabout from the beginning of my walk through Combat in the 80 and 8. I'll link to that, and just in case you're curious. Not going to be doing that much exploring here. I got to find this, flash it, and then get on the Metro and go to Montmartre to get my second one. Wow.
First of all, it's impossible.
All right, it's harder for me to find them. I have to do a little research. When I started looking for invaders around Paris, I never did any research. I didn't try to hunt them down. I just wanted to find them as I was out exploring. But now that I've got like 806 of them around town, you know, out of the 1400, it just makes it a little bit more challenging. So I allow myself to do a little bit of research, see when they get reactivated, go out for a hunt when I'm feeling like it. And today, you know, oddly enough, the cold rainy day felt like a perfect day for this. So happy to get out here and bounce around a little bit in Montmartre, and now I'm ready to go home. It's cold, but it's been definitely worth it and very successful. The visa front remains, you know, unmoving, immovable. You know, I gotta send them an email this week and see if I can't get another appointment, but I'm feeling better. Just doing a little bit of research and feeling like, you know what, like, should be fine. Not too worried about it. I'm definitely a little bit stressed about it still, obviously, but mostly feeling good about that. So that's a good thing. That's a nice improvement. And overall, the last month in particular was just kind of rough, going through some personal stuff, just digging through some things. Therapy's been very helpful for that. I can't recommend therapy enough, to be honest. Then some very helpful tools. Obviously digging deep into things that have made, you know, processing more of a challenge and definitely given me a lot to think about, but at the same time, I'm learning and I'm growing, and I think ultimately that's the goal. Like, I want to be the best, healthiest version of myself that I can be, and I'm definitely not that yet. But I'm always growing and improving, and I can see how much I've grown over the last, you know, couple of years, over the last decade, but especially over the last like year and a half of therapy has really accelerated that process, and it's provided me with some really useful tools to get me farther along. So I definitely think my energy levels are coming back up. Definitely staying very busy, lots to do, lots to work on, lots to share soon. Above all, I think I'm getting that work done without totally burning myself out in the process, which is definitely an ongoing eternal life goal for me now. Never burn out again, ever. Speaking of giant space invaders though, this guy's been here forever. He's huge.
It's the greatest job in the world.
Somehow, the foot feels fine. I didn't mention this. I don't think I ever followed up on this. Like, after the ride on the metro, it just felt okay again. There was a little bit of pain after we walked for a while, but like, and there's still just a little bit. Maybe I just tweaked something when I hit it with my phone. I don't know. It's a mystery, but I needed to go for a run. I've been feeling the urge. I did go do my grocery shopping in between as well, you know, because I hadn't. And I feel like there might have been one more update in there that I don't remember, but you know, it's okay. Out for a run, feeling good. I hope you're doing all right wherever it is you are, and that you'll reach out, maybe look after somebody you love today, send them a message, see how they're doing. And in the meantime, tomorrow, Pushan's got an appointment to get vaccinated because he qualifies, theoretically, although his doctor was shocked that he got it. So we'll see if that works out. He asked if I would come along with him to piggyback and see if maybe they've got an extra shot that's gonna go to waste. No harm, no foul in that. So we're gonna try that. And then there's another rumor about when and where we might be able to find them here in town that we're gonna like try to hunt down. And we'll see how that goes. I don't have high expectations for any of this tomorrow, but you never know. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow. So stay bright and happy and healthy, and I'll maybe get a shot tomorrow. I guess we'll find out.
It's the greatest job in the world when you have to get out, you know, you saunter out of your hotel room.